I've been saying for a long time that certain illnesses, certain diseases are most likely caused by humans, caused by all of the stuff that humans create. And every single thing, you got to remember, everything has an effect. So if you create something, it's going to have an equal and opposite effect. That is just a law, okay? Anything you do, anything you create has an equal and opposite effect. And I've been saying for a long time that all of these things, we'll say they're things, are caused from that, from the things that we create. Now, every time I say stuff like this, people say, oh, you have no idea what you're talking about. Well, here is a doctor talking about this on the show CRROW777radio.com. Really amazing show. The stuff I've learned on this show, it really started me on my truth journey. I'm going to be honest. This show is amazing. And check this out. Listen to what this doctor has to say. I love you all.
I've been in practice 40 years, so I would say at least 30. I started with AIDS patients when I was practicing in Eastchester, New York, curing all of them. And it's really the same concept. It's just the body going wild with inflammation. Now, people know that cancer is a disease of proliferating bad cells. If you take it to the different level, why are they doing what they're doing? And if you think that it's all about toxicity, just like the germ theory thesis that I'm always talking about, we live in a toxic environment and your body is under constant stress to remove the toxins that are creating disease. And it is set up that way in our environment. Here's one thing I want to state before we get into it. Nobody really knows what it's like to be honestly, physically free. You know what I mean by that? Is that we have so many intentional toxins in the air, the water, the food that are placed there to keep our bodies enslaved in a constant measure of fight or flight and fighting that, the human being was not designed to live like this. We're designed to live in conjunction with nature. We're talking about these stones and everything. They have a purpose with us. And all the medicine we could possibly want for healing is all within the plants. It's all within what's provided for us by the creator. And that being said, the powers that be, the cabal, has messed with all of that, especially the last 200 years, but for hundreds of years. Every major disease, every major cancer is due to toxicity. And we can go back to my germ theory, Goodbye Germ Theory book and thesis, where all of these different diseases that they're talking about, people are getting vaccinated and vaccinating their kids for, from all the childhood diseases, measles, everything, is just a form, smallpox, everything, just some form of detoxification process that the group, the species is going through. And cancer is no different. I put up on the notes there for you guys that the primary heavy metal creating cancer these days that is in our soil and in our water is cadmium.
You're the third doctor. The guy we interviewed yesterday, also a doctor, said exactly what you're saying about cadmium, and it's been said one other time recently here.
Right. I don't know if Rose is here anymore, but I gave her a map to post up in the comments. The map, it basically shows the cadmium concentrations throughout the country. And take a look at that. It's astounding when you see this. And to understand that, first of all, how did cadmium get all over the place? Well, the textile industries back in the turn of the 20th century and the late 19th century were dumping all of their chemicals and dyes and everything like that into the woods. Here, where we live primarily in Greenwich, Connecticut, there is an area called Stamford, Connecticut, and North Stamford has some pretty expensive real estate. But what people don't realize is that the textile companies from New York in the 1910s and 1920s would come up here when it was nothing but farmland and just open space. And they would just dump everything in what is now called North Stamford. The cancer rate, ovarian, breast, any kind of woman cancer, okay, that comes from endoderm, all right, is through the roof in North Stamford, Connecticut. And anybody could look this up. And it's been that way since 1990. Now I have a patient who's a lawyer who developed cancer. who investigated all of this. She investigated her well water, found a tremendously ridiculous amount of cadmium before anybody was even concerned about it, and arsenic and all those sorts of heavy metals in her well water, because it's all wells up there, right? And so she discovered why the cancer rate was so high. She then went on to go sue the town, saying it's the town's fault. She did not win because the town said, no, well, it's not our fault. That's just the real estate up there. It's not our job to clean it. It's been there for a long time. And that's when she discovered it was 3 or 4 primary textile industries.
Just remember now, this is for entertainment and satire purposes only. You can find me at my website, withthesun33.com, or uncensored on Telegram, withthesun33. I love you all.